A shortened regular season is heading down the home stretch for local boys soccer teams. Today, it's the second meeting of the season between rivals Hopkins and Minnetonka. Lake Conference Soccer is up next on CCX. And welcome to Hopkins High School for Lake Conference soccer action here as the Royals welcome their crosstown Minnetonka rivals from Minnetonka High School. The Skippers having an outstanding season. Their only loss was to Wayzata, the team that is ranked number 1 in the state. And Minnetonka, Wayzata, Edina, 3 great teams. I'm Jay Wilcox, Jason Malillo joining us for today's game. And those teams have been kind of battling it out here, and we were saying earlier, with the shortened season, the conference title becomes something a little more meaningful, I think. It'll be interesting to see down the stretch, how that shapes up with those 3 teams in particular battling for the top spot.
Yeah, I think they're putting a lot of significance on the conference, even more so than they usually do, because sections and state tournaments are so uncertain. So yeah, definitely a lot of pride and energy being put toward winning that conference title. And of course, yeah, Minnetonka, like you said, Jay, having a great season, ranked 3rd in the state right now in Class AA, and I think a really good team top to bottom, but with a really, really dynamic scorer in number 10, Dylan Olsen, senior forward for them.
Yeah, the Royals are going to be shorthanded today, and they also lost this matchup the first time by a 10-0 count, so things not, necessarily in their favor, but they feel like they learned some things from that first meeting, and that they're, going to try and do some things a little bit different, defend a little bit different here. And we will talk about key players, and you mentioned Dylan Olsen. That's a guy that every team that the Skippers have faced have had some trouble with. You see 14 goals for him this year, and got a lot of all-around skill, and obviously he's somebody that they're going to have to be very aware of here this afternoon.
Absolutely, yeah. And their coach was telling you, Hopkins coach was telling you before the game that they have to be more organized. That they can't give him space and can't let him get shots off. I mean, he's too good. And I think a kid who is equally dangerous with both feet, and once he gets in space, a kid like that is kind of rare in high school. You can't play him one way, you can't force him one way on the field, so you have to really lock him down defensively, and then hope that that your defense and your goalie can contain the other forwards on Minnetonka. But certainly you have to account for Dylan Olsen.
And for Hopkins, we're going to talk about one of their junior midfielders, Peter Eklund. Again, they're without some of their key players today, some of their veteran leaders, a couple of captains are not going to be available. So guys like Peter are going to have to kind of step up and, maybe take that extra little bit of responsibility today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think 5 players out, and several of them are starters, several of them who play a lot of minutes. So, yeah, for sure, players like Peter Eklund, junior midfielder, for them are going to have to step up and fill those holes, and obviously that's a tall task when you're playing a team like Minnetonka. I think even if Hopkins was full strength, it would be an uphill climb for them. But with 5 guys out, you're going to have to really rely on some younger and more inexperienced guys to step up and fill those roles.
Nice afternoon. We got a little bit of a breeze that, kind of cool things down a little bit. It sounds like this may be sort of the tail end of the warmth, and then we're going to be heading into the last couple weeks of the regular season, and then after that section tournament coming up. We'll take a quick timeout. We will come back and get started with today's boys game, the Royals and the Skippers here on CCX.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
We discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure
Pure love.
love.
And welcome back here to Hopkins as we get set to begin this evening's contest. It'll be Jamie Deneen, a junior, in goal for Minnetonka. And for Hopkins, they've got one of their captains, senior Jonas Swan, in goal. And we are underway as the Skippers will get first possession here. Try to come up their left side here as Torrin Firehammer sending it up. A little slip, and that one will get out of play. We get a throw coming here for the Royals.
Certainly the best name on the roster, Torrin Firehammer.
Yeah, that is a good name. Even whatever sport you're in, that would be a good one. As Roman Madison sending it long here for the Royals. And back pressured there was Jack Olsen. The Skippers had a couple of all-state caliber central defenders last year that graduated, so they've had to get some new guys into those spots. And Jack is one of the guys that Coach Mike Rogers pointed out has done a pretty solid job for them. Hopkins feeling good about getting some possession early here. You get guys get a few touches on the ball at least and get the ball into Minnetonka's zone and see if you can make anything happen from there. Nice volley ahead though, and here come the Skippers briefly and then broken up by Nolan Ryder. Hunter Chemnitz coming to try and secure that ball for Tonka, had it briefly, and then the Royals able to force a turnover here. Pass blocked by George Lindbergh, throw coming for Hopkins. Long throw in there, trapped down by Ishmael Castro Montoya. Headed to an open spot in the middle there. Olsen coming up to meet that one. Minnetonka got caught a little flat-footed there. They all kind of look at each other. Who's going to play this one? Battle for it here. Chased down by, or tried to chase it down, Jose De La Cruz. Instead, it'll be a throw coming up for Hopkins.
Yeah, the Skipper's looking a little disorganized defensively right now early on, Jay, and Hopkins trying to control the middle here.
Nolan Ryder's pass, though, off the chest of Montoya, so we get a throw here for Minnetonka. Hustling up to meet it there is Dylan Olsen. He's going to chip it long with the left foot. It is onside for Chemnitz. Chemnitz in alone. Hunter Chemnitz, a goal. Swan came out, tried to meet it. He's asking for an offside. The officials say no way, and Chemnitz will get the goal here for Minnetonka. Just 2:39 into the match.
Well, you saw right there, we mentioned Dylan Olsen before the game as the player we were spotlighting, and you see the move right here. I mean, he gets a little bit of space, and he just plays a perfect ball to Chemnitz, and Chemnitz is in all alone, and the goalie really with no shot there. A player like Olsen, you give him a little bit of space to operate, he's going to make a play, and that's exactly what happened right there.
Third goal of the season for Chemnitz. See Hopkins, and it sounds like that happened to them a fair amount in the first game, and I think Chris Swenson pleading that one should have been an offside, and that's, it's a fine line. You're looking to defend in such a way but not give stuff like that up, and that time it cost them, and I don't think Hopkins agreed that that play was onside, but the official didn't see it that way, so Chemnitz getting, by high school soccer standards, a pretty wide open breakaway. You don't see that all that often to that degree. So just when we were kind of thinking that Hopkins had gotten off to a decent start in the first couple minutes, all of a sudden, bang, the other way it goes and a breakaway goal.
I think what can happen for Hopkins too is, you know, they know how dangerous Olsen is. Maybe they got a little too aggressive. The entire defense came up, and then you leave Chemnitz kind of behind. And with a player that has the touch like Olsen, you can't let that happen because he's going to make you pay if the whole defense moves up.
Jack Olsen sending that one ahead, deflected over to Ben Chung, and then he's looking long, and again, this time they will get the offside.
We got a replay now of the goal, and we'll take a look to see if it was in fact onside.
Yeah, when that ball was passed is when it matters, and I could go with, I think it was. He was about even.
Yeah,
with that defender.
It looked like a good goal to me. Very close, but you know the better players will cut it perfectly like that. You know, so it's I think the correct call by the official or non-call.
Nice steal there at midfield for the Royals, and then chipped ahead by Madison. Jake Herbert getting out there to knock that one away, so we will get a throw coming up for Hopkins. Eklund controlling it here now for Hopkins. Bumped off it though, and it will be a throw for the Royals.
Hopkins coach Chris Swenson, I think, still working the official over that offside call.
Obviously a free kick, not a throw in here, and they got that one in deep, and Jack Olsen pounding it high into the air. And back it'll come. And that one's going to be deflected out off of Minnetonka's Jake Hennon, the young freshman who stepped in and done a pretty nice job for them this year. So we will get a throw coming here for Hopkins and Gavin Hoffman. Tried to come right back to him, but that pass was out of play. So a throw here for Minnetonka, and they're telling De La Cruz, you got to back up a little bit here. Ball freed up briefly. Royals nearly had a turnover there. And now it's going to roll out of play. This will be a throw coming for Hopkins. Monroe Chumklang throwing it in there for the Royals. Nice takeaway in Minnetonka, looking to go back to the attack and ascended long again. Was going to be offside anyway, coming way out. That time was Swan to meet that one, well out of the box there, so he had to play that one with the chest. I think he was feeling, based on what we saw there, that maybe last time he felt like he laid back a little too much and let them have that breakaway opportunity.
Yeah, that looked like the same type of play developing there, and I think, yeah, a nice aggressive move by Swan to come out and thwart that. I don't think he's going to let that happen again.
So Mike Rogers there. They had the Skippers in the state tournament 2 years ago, 2018, and he was telling me tonight that, you know, they're eager to face Wayzata and Edina again. They lost to Wayzata, beat Edina the first time around, but he said honestly those three teams all have a lot of good players, and it's pretty even, you know, when they go head to head. So
yeah, Tonka's only lost this season to Wayzata. As you mentioned before the game, Wayzata ranked #1 in the state, so, you know, obviously a very good team, but yeah, a lot of talent in the lake for sure.
And Buffalo and St. Michael Albertville are finding out that in soccer at least they're going to need to step it up to compete with the top teams as they joined the league a year ago. Olsen knocked down, and this is going to be a penalty kick coming up as he was tripped up. And so Minnetonka will get a chance to add to its lead as Dylan Olsen was breaking in with an opportunity to line it up for a shot on net when he was knocked down, and really no hesitation on that whistle. So Olsen will get himself a PK here. Swan will try and guess right. Here comes Dylan Olsen with the left foot, and he scores it. Didn't do anything fancy, just kept it low and hard and a little bit to the left of the keeper there. So Olsen scoring on the penalty kick.
Yeah, and again, I mean, for the Hopkins defense, you know, you want to be aggressive. You have to be aggressive against a player like him, and those fouls are going to come sometimes like that, I think. But certainly unfortunate he was fouled in the box and makes no mistake on the PK.
Eklund lofting this one ahead. Tracked down there by Firehammer, but then taken right back. Royals quickly converting to offense, but then that next pass didn't make it there. Chung charged up to meet it there, but the Royals able to get it back as they got a nice defensive wall there. Jumklang able to keep possession there. He almost had it knocked away, and then his pass, however, was stolen, and here come the Skippers one more time. Cross there, but it'll bounce in on Swan. So the Hopkins, you know, plan to try and defend well and, you know, kind of stay in this one for the first half and see where it goes from there has kind of already gone a little bit out the window, maybe because Minnetonka has been able to convert on a couple of a breakaway and then a penalty kick. I mean, you don't completely change your plan, but just what they had hoped to do was kind of stick in it for a long time, and that part of it is on the scoreboard is not working out. Firehammer with some space to go out to the left. Now chipped out front here, and this one will be Swan's to grab up as Jake Hennon was charging in. Swan will put his foot to it here. Strong header there by Alec Rodriguez, and now we get a foul call going against Tonka. Free kick here for Hopkins. We've played just about 10 minutes, and Minnetonka has already gone up by a 2-0 count here on Hopkins. Have the girls match for you as well here on CCX. Opportunity from way out high there, and that one will roll well wide of the mark as Coleman Chin stepped up to try and take that shot.
And you see Hopkins is having quite a bit of trouble controlling the middle of the field and just turning, you know, just turning in the middle and getting into their offensive half of the field. So that's something that they're going to have to try to improve on here going forward.
Correction to Eklund with that last shot attempt for Hopkins. Now controlling his Firehammer. Once again, the Skipper's trying to come up that left side. They'll throw it in for Olsen here. Dropped it back, but broken up by Chin. It will be a throw for Tonka. Obviously, with some guys out, Hopkins, you know, bench is going to be a lot thinner as well, so it'd be interesting to see. They may not sub all that much. That pass going all the way through to the other side, and De La Cruz unable to run it down, so a throw coming for Hopkins. That one might have been wind-aided, I think, a little bit. He got a lot more on that cross than he wanted to.
Yeah, the wind coming across the field that way.
They step up by Rodriguez, but then intercepted and turned by his fellow number 6, Gavin Hoffman, for Hopkins. Olsen came up to put a little pressure on that one, but second opportunity will get it up the field, but then Rodriguez, a takeaway here for Tonka. He's going to use his keeper as he comes back to Deneen. Now Rodriguez being pressured a little bit, got it away to Herbert. Going to come back with it toward Rodriguez. He'll just leave it go for Deneen. Going to switch over right side now, Jack Olsen. Olsen looking to bang this one long toward De La Cruz, and here he comes.
Beautiful ball.
Puts the brakes on, then they try to go outside. Nice play by Hoffman, though, to get in front and break that one up, or that one could have spelled trouble. And Hoffman, though, had it taken away. Harrison Odom in there for Tonka. And they're not going to take any chances. Just stepped up and hammered that one out. It'll be a throw here for Minnetonka.
Right there, again, nice aggression by the Hopkins defense.
Subbing in now for Hopkins is Clyde Reddish, number 13. Ryder will take this throw for the Royals. And then knocked away. They lofted long. Hoffman coming back. Thought about going back to his keeper, but did a nice job as he turned away. I think he got a little guidance from Swan as well there, and kind of just shrugged off the onrushing forward to Hennon, trying to disrupt him a little bit there. But Skippers with possession again here. And that ball a little too far for Firehammer, and it will be a goal kick here for Hopkins.
You saw a few minutes ago Hopkins in the middle of the field trying to turn, and it's, you know, the Hopkins midfielders, they're receiving the ball, but then the Minnetonka defenders are right on their backs right away, so they have no attempt to even turn and try to make a play. And then when Tonka gets control of the ball, they're moving it very well on the ground, and they're making concise passes.
Here's Hennon. Strong footwork here. He's not very big, but he's skilled. And chip to the front. Hennon trying to get to it, but Swan will slide out and cover that one up. Defender got a piece of that one, disrupted things, and it slowed it down a lot, and Swan able to pounce on it here for Hopkins. Swan has given up two already, but it's hard to kind of put it on him. One was like a completely clean breakaway, and the other was a penalty kick, so haven't really had much chance on either of those, obviously. So we get a throw here for Minnetonka as De La Cruz will take it. Looking to go to Hennon here. He is asking for a foul call, but not going to get it. And it will be a goal kick upcoming here for Hopkins.
Yeah, for Jonas Swan, you know, you just hope he's not beating himself up too much over those two goals, you know, because like you said, I mean, very little chance on either one of those. So he just needs to forget about those and concentrate on saving whatever comes at him the rest of the way here.
Colin Panoff, number 4, coming in for Hopkins.
Entering the game for the Royals, number 4, Colin Panoff.
Hoffman heading it high in the air, then it went off Ryder. And this will be a Tonka throw as it's out off of Eklund. De La Cruz going to trigger it in quick here. And they dropped it back. Rodriguez looking to switch fields over to the left and then chipped right to the front there. That was really more of a pass probably, but it winds up right in Swan's hands. Obviously for Swan, I mean, you'd rather that your team was the one winning and possessing the ball and all that, but I think sometimes it is kind of fun to be busy, you know, just to test yourself. Here comes Olsen up the left side. Oh, and a near miss there as you had Hennon going to the net. And Olsen was down hard there, but I think he's all right. More disappointed than anything, as it looked like that one might result in another goal opportunity there, as just missing the far post and Hennon just missing being there in time as well.
You see just how explosive he is. I mean, just, you know, a couple steps and he's by the defender and then plays a perfect ball into the middle.
Skippers get it back and now send it for Hennon up the right side. Hennon stepping back to get it and does win the ball back and take that left-footed shot and a low skipper in, and Swan plays it on one hop. Hennon, you could see he got bounced around by a lot bigger, older guy, but he didn't, you know, sit there and pout. He just went back and won the ball back and got away a pretty decent attempt. And listening to Coach Rogers before the game, he said he's going to be special. He's already kind of is by this point, but you can imagine a guy who's, you know, excelling this much as a freshman in the Lake Conference what he's going to be like by the time he's a senior.
Yeah, I like this kid. He's he gets bounced around a little bit, and he's just doesn't give up on the ball. Obviously has some skill, but has some grit too.
Rodriguez sending that one. It's deflected away, and it'll be a throw for Minnetonka. Ryder did the best he could there to just interrupt that one, and even though he wasn't able to control it, he at least lets his D get regrouped here and get back. Dela Cruz with the throw in down toward the corner. Ooh, and a Tonka player going down and a little slow to get up. It'll be a throw for Minnetonka. A little bit worrisome, I think, for the Royals that more and more here the play is kind of stuck in their end. Ooh, nice little move by Dela Cruz, and then his crossing pass was snuffed out. It'll be another throw, though, for Minnetonka. Kato Vodupa coming in for Minnetonka as Dela Cruz getting set to throw it here. Rodriguez gaining control out high. Then over to Firehammer, and he'll drop it back, and that shot ripped over the top as Firehammer got underneath that one a little more than he would have liked, but another decent attempt there for Minnetonka. Goal kick upcoming here, and this time, rather than Swan, he will allow his defender Hoffman to take it. Now Eklund volleying that one ahead, but there's Dela Cruz getting to it for the header. And the Royals forced back with it. Good hustle to come meet that one by Madison. And now Hoffman as they'll go the other way, but then a player slipped, and Lindbergh with the interception. Out to the outside, now chipped. They looked for Hennon out front. It didn't quite connect, but again, you see, it doesn't take long before a turnover leads to offense for Minnetonka there. Played out to the right side here. And lost there as Reddish tried to slide that ball to the outside, but got a little bit too much on that touch and rolled it out of play himself. So a throw here for Minnetonka as Hennon will get a breather now, and Charlie Pears comes in.
And Jay, you mentioned a lot of the play being in Hopkins' end, you know, with a lot of guys out and with less subs, that's even more concerning.
And that one was a little dangerous there, but they'll head it back to the goalkeeper, Deneen. Deneen driving this one upfield. Header there by Chumklang for Hopkins, but then the skippers wind up with it. Adupa sending it over for Herbert. Chipping it with the left foot way across. Opportunity perhaps here. Headed to the front and tapped in by Charlie Pears. And the skippers will go up 3-0.
Number 9, Charlie Pears.
Boy, that ball pushed to the outside there, and they did a good job of spreading things out and getting to that one and getting that cross away.
Yeah, you see that initial touch just into the box area was just cut perfectly, and then the pass from Alex Gonickman to Charlie Pears, and he puts it away.
Yeah, I think the cross hit a defender's shoulder, but then there was really no back support defensively. Pears was all alone, and you got to like his efficiency. I don't think he'd been in the match for more than about maybe a minute, and he gets a goal. So
coming off the bench to do that pretty quickly was pretty impressive. But the other thing you notice is once he received that ball near the goal, he had quite a bit of time to take that shot. So again, the Hopkins defense may be a little out of position there again.
Well, and Coach Rogers from Minnetonka said that he's liked his team's depth, that when they've subbed this year, they generally, it isn't one of those things where you notice a big drop-off, and that's kind of what you're mostly hoping for out of your subs. I mean, yeah, they're not always going to come in and get a goal right away, but, do they continue with the play? Here's Pears, another attempt, and that one will be wide of the mark. So goal kick upcoming here for Hopkins.
I'm pretty sure Pears' father is a coach for one of the freshman teams at Minnetonka, so he has soccer in the family, so to speak.
And he is actually the player who's a little bit banged up now. So Pears, an eventful afternoon already, comes in off the bench, gets a goal, and then has to leave with a little bit of an injury here. And that will bring the freshman Hennon back in. See, it looks like holding kind of the back of the knee area there. The trainer comes over to tend to him. And Lucas trying to shield him from that one. It will be a throw for Hopkins. Adupu able to get the steal, then he gets the pass back. He'll drop it over to Parker Flynn, and then he swings it around right side. Herbert trying to run it down. And he's going to get a corner out of it, as Herbert knew by that time he didn't really have much that he could do with that one, but the right play there, the good play, is to make it a corner kick. Alec Rodriguez will line it up for the corner kick here for Minnetonka.
First corner kick of the day for either team.
And that one is Hennon knocking it in. As it went over Swan, he tried to swat that one and off the body of Jake Hennon, and then a defender tried to cut it off and couldn't quite do it. So Hennon will get that goal. Another look as he comes in right off the midsection and then almost kept out by Eklund, but not quite. So Hennon will get his fourth goal of the season and the fourth goal of the half for Minnetonka. Odupa dropping it back there for Flynn. And we'll swing it around now, Jake Herbert. Eklund lifting it to the outside here, but Jack Olson will come over to cut it off for Tonka. Ooh, playing that one back. That wasn't such a great idea. First shot stopped, second block, but now it's going to roll just wide of the net. Oh, great opportunity there for Hopkins, and just not quite able to finish it. As
had about 3 whacks at that.
The back pass was ill-advised as they were, I think, trying to go to Deneen, but it didn't get enough of that one, and it left their D in a really tough spot. And then there was one shot blocked and another, and the third one just kind of rolled wide. There you see Deneen got a piece of the first one, and the second one blocked by Chemnitz. Oh, would have been a nice one to get on the board for Hopkins, but it results in a near miss. And that one's going to roll out of play. We get a throw coming here for Hopkins.
Yeah, if you're Hopkins, I think the opportunities are going to be few and far between, so it's unfortunate they couldn't capitalize on that one, because they're very rarely controlling the ball over midfield, as they head toward their offensive side of the field.
That ball intercepted. Adupu sending it ahead now to Hennon, who comes back to meet it. Nice steal there by Eklund. Eklund had that pass denied there by Herbert, so we get a throw coming for Hopkins. And Eklund is showing up a little bit and making some plays here for the Royals, but obviously they've got a long climb to try and chip away at this one, trailing at 4-zip. Headed out of play, we get another throw coming for Hopkins. Said Hopkins has had trouble scoring goals this year, but considering their pretty small goal output, having won 3 games, not bad. I mean, so obviously they've had some games where they've had some shutouts and won games that way too. So, and there's a dangerous pass back, almost stolen by Emil Leiden. Nice step up by Chemnitz. Send that one straight up the middle, but picked off. Eklund receiving, Minnetonka dropping back off a little bit, and then the pass ahead broken up. Adupu trying to win it back there, but couldn't do so as Chin then had his pass blocked. Here's Rodriguez up with the steal. Nice step in there by Hoffman. And this foul call going against Minnetonka. Free kick here for Hopkins. A little over 12 minutes to go in the first half. Minnetonka has scored 4 times and leading at 4-0 here. Hoffman gonna send this one deep into the box. And a volley that's gonna go way up over the net there by Dos Santos. So goal kick upcoming now for Minnetonka.
Number 4, Colin Cannock. With number 12, Elijah Anderson.
Chemnitz will drive this one way upfield. And Hennon trying to run onto it, and he gets to it. Or excuse me, not Hennon. Here's an opportunity for Leiden instead. And there's Swan with the stop.
Great save.
Leiden read that ball pretty well. That was a free kick that went about 3/4 of the field. And he waited to just the right time to get a couple touches on it and then let a shot fly. So it will be a corner coming here for Minnetonka. Swan this time gets a good clean path to that one and able to grab it up. First corner, he tried to punch out of there, but it got over his head, and then he was really kind of stuck in no man's land, and Hennon able to knock it in off his body. So it'll be a throw for Hopkins. Important for Hopkins. I know, Jason, it's easier said than done, but not really be thinking about the scoreboard now. Not hang your head. Just come out, say let's try and win this last 10 minutes of the half, and then let's see if But those are things that are good in practice, but sometimes hard to do when you're trailing like this. Chemnitz surveys the field here. He has a strong leg out front for the header, and it'll be Harrison Odom missing high and wide with that one. We get a free kick, or a goal kick rather, for Hopkins.
Hopkins subbing in a few guys, a moment ago, and maybe like you're saying, Jay, a little fresh blood in there, and guys that are fresh and a little better rested that can, help them try and win this last 10 minutes. It'd be nice if they can put one in. Wouldn't cut the lead significantly, obviously, but I think for their mentality, it would be important.
Sent here for Leiden. This one was offside. So another goal kick for Swan. I'm sorry, not a goal kick here, a free kick after the offside call, and it will be Hoffman taking it. Santos trying to turn, and then we had a foul call going against Minnetonka's Jake Herbert. So you got too much of the leg of Eli Anderson there, and free kick here for Hopkins, and in a spot where they might be able to launch one into the box here as Gavin Hoffman gets ready to take it. Went low with it, and then that one driven way out of play by Herbert. Be a throw for Hopkins. Chin will quickly get it in, but he threw that one, got too much under it. He could have just played it right to his feet quick there, giving his guy a little better chance. Race for it here, and they're able to shield away as Owen Murphy was hoping to get a breakaway chance if he'd been able to jar that ball loose. Throw in here for Nolan Ryder now for Hopkins. Hoffman stepping in to break that one up here. And then the ball wound up back with him, a holding call there. They got a little bunched up, and Hoffman wasn't sure where to go with that ball, but just kind of held his ground and was pushed a little bit, so they'll get a free kick. Jumkling's pass broken up. It comes right back to him, though. This ball to the outside by Lucas. And into traffic they go. Couldn't quite get a shot attempt. That ball crossed, but Rodriguez stepped up to knock it out of there. Now Rodriguez trying to send it up the sideline there for Murphy, but he mostly missed that one.
Good strength by Hopkins down low, though, trying to make something happen there.
Yeah, it's interesting. What we've seen, you know, it kind of is bearing out what I was thinking. You can be a decent or at least average team in this conference, but not look very good when you're playing the Minnetonkas and Wayzatas and Edinas. I think that's kind of, not just this year, but in the past several years, kind of the spot that Hopkins has been in, where, you know, if you're looking at all the AA teams in the state, they're probably middle of the pack, but hard to look good against those really elite teams, too. And that one banged out off of Minnetonka's Leiden, so we get a throw coming up here for Hopkins.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, you know, it's become almost cliche, but, you know, you'll hear Lake Conference coaches and players say, you know, there's never an easy game in the Lake. There's never a night off, you know, but it's kind of true, you know. I mean, and for the teams that I think are sometimes on the lower end of that, like Hopkins, I mean, they're facing teams almost every conference game that are ranked in the top 5, top 10 in the state, you know, so it's an uphill climb for sure. I'm noticing, you know, Minnetonka coach Mike Rogers has had a lot of his starting forwards out for quite a while now, including Dylan Olsen, so giving some of the reserves a chance to get some playing time and see what they can do.
And Olsen got nicked up a little bit in their last game as well, so they that I would guess could be one reason why too, that they've already got a nice lead and all, and that'll be a push call, so a foul against the Royals. Deneen putting his foot to it here for the Skippers. So we've got under 4 minutes to play in this opening half. Kind of scored in a variety of ways. They had a breakaway, they had a penalty kick, they had a goal directly off a corner kick, and then a nice crossing pass set up another one. Ooh, nice step up there. Able to win that ball and avoid the collision there was Sketch dos Santos.
And then a pretty nice ball up the sideline there too. Very nice sequence by dos Santos.
Chemnitz stepping up with the left foot there, and we'll send that one long up the sideline, and here they come up the left. I like the way Minnetonka has been able to, as that ball crossed right into Swan, Minnetonka's been able to use both sides of the field a little bit too, and that's kind of the sign of a good team if you're not entirely right-handed or left-handed, as it were, as a team.
And you see the way they're able to send those balls out to either side on just a perfect angle for a forward to run to that pass and receive it kind of in stride, and then they're in and with a good scoring attempt most times, or at least a chance to get a shot at goal.
Yeah, and you do find teams that, don't necessarily excel at that are so direct that they try and come up the middle all the time, and then you run into a good defensive team, and then you wish you had worked on more a little bit those using the wings better. Drop back here to Swan. He'll send it out to the right here as the Royals. Oh, there's a clean takeaway, and opportunity now, the pass to the middle, turning and trying to go with it is Eden. He gets the shot, and Swan with the save. Pretty good move there by Eden to be able to drag that one by the defender and get a little bit of a rip with the left foot. You see, he dragged it past the D, and Swan was ready.
Really nice quick shot too. Real quick release on with the left foot there.
Boy, and the steal out top was so clean too. It was like all of a sudden Hopkins realized they were needing to get back defensively. Usually you don't see a ball stolen quite that cleanly, and it really created that chance too. And that'll be a push call against Minnetonka's Murphy, so get a free kick coming here for Hopkins. So we've gone under a minute to play in this opening half, and Royals trying to see if they can't generate something off a dead ball situation here as Hoffman.
This is where Hopkins really needs to try and make something happen.
And that one skipping off. It's going to be a corner, yeah, but they're going to be winding down time-wise here. Under 25 seconds to go in the half, but should have time to get it away and get an attempt anyway. Monroe Jumklang will send it for the Royals. And that one off a Tonka head, and it goes way out to the other side. Royals keep it alive briefly. Now Lucas sending one just wide of the net, and time's going to tick down to zeros here, but a little bit of an opportunity late for Hopkins, but overall Minnetonka certainly had the better of the play here. Our halftime score in this one is Minnetonka 4 and Hopkins nothing. We'll have first half highlights and then our second half of soccer here on CCX Sports.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Minnetonka leading Hopkins by a score of 4-0 at halftime of this one. Lake Conference action, and we've been talking about how tough the Lake is, not only this year, but pretty much every season in boys soccer. And coming into the game, the standings up to this point, as Minnetonka's only loss was to Wayzata. The Trojans got beat by Edina 1-0 on Tuesday night, and Edina has had losses to Wayzata and Minnetonka, so obviously those three at the top have been kind of the cream of the crop and battling it out. Wayzata hasn't played quite as many games as Edina there, so there's still a lot to be determined down the stretch here in the conference race, certainly. Let's look at some highlights from the first half, and obviously mainly Minnetonka as they have in a controlled play here in the opening half. Get Dylan Olsen cutting it to the middle here, takes the long pass ahead. Hopkins was thinking and hoping it was offside, but instead Hunter Chemnitz coming in on a breakaway, and just over 2.5 minutes in, he scored there. Swan pleading their case. Then a penalty kick, and Olsen able to bury that one with ease for the Skippers in the 8th minute there to make it 2-0. Couple of minor chances for Hopkins in the first half, not a whole lot to speak of, and then another one where they were hoping for the offside, they don't get it, pass to the trailer, and Kerr is able to knock that one in off a nice cross by Gonnickman, and then off a corner kick, it's Hennon off his chest, trapping that one down and in. Eklund fighting to try and keep it out, but couldn't do so. And then Hopkins, probably their best opportunity right there. Couple of chances at it, but just couldn't quite get it to go into the open net as Deneen was way out. And then here's a big save. Swan diving as Leiden tried to go to the short side. Leiden got another pretty good look right there, and Swan making back-to-back good saves down the home stretch of the first half. As we check out our stats, you see the Skippers definitely with the heavy edge, and shots, fouls, there weren't a whole lot, and corner kicks also not a whole lot, but Minnetonka did convert on one of their corner kicks. We will come back here to Hopkins High School in just a moment. It is Minnetonka leading Hopkins by a score of 4-0. You're watching Lake Conference Soccer here on CCX.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Welcome back here to Hopkins. As you see, Dylan Olsen is back on the field to begin second half, so banged up a little, as we said. He may not probably play the entire rest of the half here, but get him a few more minutes and get back and running a little bit. Coach was quick to point out that he was kept off the scoreboard against St. Michael, but it was mainly because he didn't play much because he was injured. Said if you were wondering, why he didn't score any in that game himself.
I think Coach Rogers probably thinking about Dylan's long-term health throughout the season, so yeah, he'll probably play a few more minutes here, but I would imagine, wouldn't imagine he would play the entire second half.
Royals able to win possession there. And we'll get a foul call here, though, going against Minnetonka. So free kick for Hopkins out near the 40-yard line as they get themselves lined up. Yeah, I think you're right. What you said right before halftime too, Jason. Opportunities off dead ball situations are going to be something that they probably need to take advantage of. Just the way the flow of the play is going, probably not going to generate a whole lot just off their regular sets. Here comes Olsen, trying to drag it around Hoffman. Hoffman held his ground. Olsen trying to win it back. Hoffman, though, stayed with it. Nice job.
Very nice play by Hoffman.
And then played a pretty good ball up the line, but they just couldn't quite get to it. And it will be a throw for Minnetonka.
You saw Hoffman had to kind of recover on that because Olsen turned him around, but he was able to recover and play him nicely after that.
Chemnitz heading it, but it will go into the bench. And again, the bench this year is more like chairs spread out. It's amazing how quickly you get used to that, though. The first game of the year when I saw that, it seemed kind of weird looking, and now you're just like, oh, that's just how it is. Chemnitz trying to get himself free for a shot. Nice job defensively by Rains Lucas. However, it will result in a corner kick for Minnetonka. Rodriguez making his way upfield to take it. Chemnitz scored the first goal of the match on a clean breakaway, and he was in one-on-one that time, but the defender Lucas held his ground pretty well.
And we'll see Rodriguez. His previous corner kicks, he really just sent them straight into the middle. This one lofted up a little higher.
Got a head on it, and there's going to be a foul on Minnetonka anyway, climbing the back. A little interesting. They chose not to have anybody really in tight to bother the keeper or get in his way. They're more with the formation of guys making runs from the top there and looking for a header. And that one would not have counted anyway because they called for a push there trying to get to that ball for the header. Herbert knocks this one out of play. We get a throw coming for Hopkins. To the outside. Can he run it down? Not quite. Be a goal kick here for Minnetonka. And Logan Ashby will come in. He had generated a little bit of offense. We saw the halftime highlights, and he had really the best chance for when Minnetonka made an errant pass back and got a shot that was snuffed out by Denis, and then the second one hit the defender, and then the third one rolled wide. Chemnitz coming to meet it there, but that one's going to be intercepted. Ashby trying to turn, or excuse me, that was Montoya. Now Olsen leading it. He'll go ahead for Hennon, but coming way out is the keeper, Swan.
You see that Swan has made that adjustment to be more aggressive, right? We mentioned it early in the first half. I think, the speed and the touch of Olsen burned Hopkins a few times, but he certainly made that adjustment. And I mean, it's hard because you don't want to be overly aggressive with a team like Tonka that has so many offensive weapons, but you have to be aggressive. Otherwise, you're going to get way too many breaks in on goal.
Yeah, it's really a kind of an overlooked part, I think, for a keeper is decision making is really more important than your physical skill. I think sometimes deciding when to come for a ball and when not to.
Well, he has so much ground to cover, I mean, coming out to the top of the box is a long way to come out.
That through ball there rolling all the way to Swan.
And if he does attempt to come outside the box, yeah, that's a long run for him. Yeah, and if you don't time that correctly, what's a good player going to do? A good offensive player is just going to chip that over you and be in with an open net.
Or take 2 steps to the right or left and tuck it past you also, yeah. So you guys get burned that way for sure. Here's Olsen coming with the left foot out to the outside. Firehammer tracks it down. Getting across away. Here's the header, and Swan is there as Chemnitz trying to direct that one in. He got a decent header on it. I mean, it was enough that it would have went in if the keeper wasn't there, but didn't get a chance to drive it into the top corner like he was hoping.
Very nice ball by Firehammer, though.
Yeah, those are the kind that, I mean, you're disappointed they don't go in, but you're impressed with the setup anyway. Olsen trying to win this ball, and he does. Here comes Olsen. Steps aside, fires and scores. Battled through a defender. He got almost tripped up, but it didn't faze him, and he stays with it and scores his second of the night and 16th of the year.
Great little move. We'll see it on the replay. He just kind of rolled it away from the defender, got himself a little bit of extra space here. Watch him just roll it with his right foot, right away from the defender to his left foot, and then finished right in tight there. You know, just beautiful little move. Beautiful little subtle move to gain that little bit of space he needed to score.
Yeah, and a lot of guys don't have the experience or confidence to, you know, they're thinking somebody's got to be coming. I have to get rid of this ball quicker. But he just outweighted Swan. I mean, like you said, Jason, it's such a big net to cover when a guy's got the ball in that close, and he just kind of allowed Swan to guess and guessed wrong. There's Ashby getting an opportunity there, missed it wide with the left foot.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Ashby. You know, big kid, maybe doesn't quite have the foot skills of some of the Tonka players, but big kid, he's aggressive, he's determined, you know. When he gets a little space there, he's able to move the ball and get in a position to take a shot on goal.
Kemna's pass broken up. Battle for it here, and Chung is going to play it back all the way to his keeper, Deneen. He will swing it around to Herbert.
Beautiful passing by Tonka, though. They move the ball so nicely.
Firehammer up the middle for Olsen. That one was a handball. Not offside, but a handball as he played it off his heel and it came up to his hand there, so. Free kick here for Hoffman of Hopkins. Couple nice passes, but then broken up by Herbert. See if they're going to turn it back, and they do, to Swan, and he will drive that one upfield. Rodriguez first to it, and Montoya lofting it. Jack Olson's going to play it to his keeper. I feel like I'm seeing that more maybe this year. Guys are using their goalkeeper without hesitation, and I think one of the things that's made that more a good play is this turf. You're not getting the strange bounces that back when we were playing a lot of games on grass where you just couldn't really count on what the ball was going to do as much as you can here with this turf. And now it's been long enough that most of the teams around the Lake Conference have it and everything, that I think most of these kids would be like, I've hardly played a game on grass even, you know, but obviously it's still not 100% that way.
Yeah, playing it back to the keeper on grass is never a good idea, I don't think, you know. Olsen got banged up again, it looked like he took a shot in the back. He was slow to get up again.
Yeah, this ball got well away and had to be retrieved.
Where are the ball chasers, Jay? There's no ball chasers.
No, and I think in certain, you know, some of the games we've done, that's been big. I think it's a COVID-related thing
that
they
makes sense.
don't have the designated, you know, young kids or players that are outside of this, you know, team grouping.
Right, that makes sense.
Nice ball back to Rodriguez. Ooh, a big collision there. Ouch. Hennon's head hit Chumkling in the cheek, it looked like.
You got it right in the cheek or the jaw.
And there will be a foul called against Minnetonka. Here's another look at this collision with Roger. He'll come back with the head. Oh,
where did he get him in the
maybe
nose?
In the nose, even. Yeah. Looked like he held his kind of cheek or nose.
Yeah.
Usually the top and back of your head is going to win in a collision with the face, and looks like he's all right though. Going to stay in the game.
That shot right in the nose is certainly unpleasant.
And Olsen will be called for the push as he tried to free himself up for that ball. And free kick coming here for Hopkins. Center referee coming over for a quick conversation, and we're going to have a yellow card issued to Coach Swenson on the Hopkins side, and that one actually I think came from the AR there, and he's talking about that head collision, and Coach Swenson I think felt like it was not by accident that Hennon's head went back into his player there, and so the center referee didn't hear it. He was waved over, and then so the yellow card issued, and I know Coach a little frustrated there, but just kind of turned and went to sit down. And, you know, he's sticking up for his player there, I think, a little bit too, because I kind of thought the same a little bit, that Hennon looked like maybe he was a little frustrated, so he kind of was a little bit careless with his head there, per se, throwing it back at him a little bit. This one sent to the front and gathered up there by Swan.
Yeah, maybe a little aggression with the body there by Hennon, but I don't think you can call that a foul. They're both.
Ooh, and Chumkling came back hard there and got his foot in there, and that one will be a call against him. So I think that was a little residual from the previous play. Hunter Chemnitz will take this free kick here for Tonka. Ball lays loose at the top of the box. Olsen trying to get to it, took a swing at it, but it was already booted out of there. Firehammer got it over to Hennon. Hennon trying to get some space, playing it to the outside now. Rodriguez. Ooh, a nice sliding tackle there by Chumklang. Rodriguez took it back and then was tripped up. Foul call against Hopkins. Starting to get a little bit heated out there for sure, and sometimes in a 5-0 game that's going to happen.
Yeah, a little chippy.
And now we're going to have a little talking to. Not quite reaching for a card, but I think he's indicating that one could be coming if the talking doesn't stop there. So Alec Rodriguez will line it up here. Ripping this one out front off of Swan's hands, and then Chumklang able to get to that one. Chemnitz had it, couldn't get past Eklund. Eklund will turn and send it to the middle. A little bit of a dangerous one, but it got there over to Jackson Malone. Pinballs back and forth there a little bit. You can see guys are going hard after each other now. Guys dribbling, you better keep your head up because somebody's coming right now. And Chemnitz able to take that one away, playing it ahead toward Olsen. Olsen walking in alone, and he shot it too high and off the football goalpost. So a goal kick upcoming here for Hopkins.
Chemnitz with really nice penetration there, and you see there, Olsen just chips it over.
Re-entering the game for the Royals, number 4, Colin Pana.
He's trying to put that through the uprights. Maybe he wanted 3 on that, Jeff.
Schlager, Dos Santos.
So a free kick, or goal kick here for Swan. Flicked ahead here toward Olsen. Chumpang trying to play him physical. It'll be a throw for Tonka. Firehammer playing it back to Rodriguez, and then Chemnitz. He turns and rips a shot and just wide. Pretty good passing again there by Minnetonka.
Yeah, Minnetonka kind of reminds me of, Jay, you remember some of those really good Prairie Seeds Academy teams we covered a few years back. The ball's hardly ever in the air. You know, they have such skill and such guys that are so good with their feet, the ball's almost always on the ground, and they're able to just connect with passes and move the ball up the field that way and create scoring opportunities.
That one up the sideline, wide of the mark, so a throw here for Minnetonka. Lindbergh will take this throw here for the Skippers. Coming for Olsen up the sideline. Olsen trying to get by Hoffman. Turns the corner a little bit, then put on the brakes. Olsen kept possession as he's double teamed. And knocked down. It will be a foul call just outside the box. We get a free kick. Olsen trying to plead the case that it should have been another penalty kick, but I think he was just outside. Or, you know, you're going to generally give the benefit of the doubt and not call that unless it's a sure thing there.
Still a nice spot for a free kick for the Skippers. Olsen will take it.
Tap it low, and this one not going to count it. I don't know if I don't think they had signaled it ready for play. So not offside, it's just they're going to make him redo it. Yeah, center referee hadn't even turned around, wasn't even looking. And so now he'll give the signal and we'll do it again. Gonna chip it up in the air this time. The header try didn't really pay off. Hennon up with it. Hennon now crossing it to the front. Comes all the way through over to Olsen. Sidesteps a defender, but then mishit it and fired it wide to the left.
You see the skill of Hennon right there, though. Played it with one foot over to the other foot and then made a beautiful cross into the box.
Pears will come back into the game. It'll be a goal kick here for Jonas Swan. Takeaway there by Chung. And that pass misfiring, and the Royals trying to counter, but Rodriguez a nice step up. He's played a strong match. You can see why they are high on him, one of their captains. Be a throw coming for Hopkins here. Here comes Olsen, stepping to the middle, drops the pass off, shot, oh, and Swan, a beautiful save on Firehammer.
Great save.
Well played offensively, but then a better stop in net as Swan read that one well. Up the sideline and out of play, a throw for Hopkins. Well, he had a lot of net to shoot at there, but got it maybe a little more into the middle than he would have liked, but Swan really read it well.
Swan in great position to make that save.
Controlled there by Chin. Now chipped way across looking for Ashby. That one's going to go all the way through, and goal kick upcoming here for Minnetonka. First time we've been in the Skipper's end of the field for a bit here. It was 4-0 Minnetonka at halftime. They've added one more here in the second half, early in the half, as Dylan Olsen scored his second of the match. So a throw in here for Hopkins.
I guess I'm a bit surprised the skipper's still with a lot of their starting guys in there, but it's about halfway through the second half now. Maybe they'll sub out soon.
So free kick here for Minnetonka. Olsen will take it. Jack Olsen, that is. Header there by Ryder of Hopkins, but skippers get it right back. And hustling, but not quite able to get there as Firehammer. So throw in coming for the Royals.
Re-entering the game for the Royals, number 12, Elijah Anderson.
Anderson will come back in for Ashby for Hopkins as they get set to take the throw. We've gone past the halfway point here in the second half. 5-0 Minnetonka our score. Olsen putting on the pressure. Wow, almost had the steal there. Now Eklund pushing it up. Rodriguez, though, going to almost force a turnover and does. Minnetonka next week will be hosting Wayzata and then playing at Eden Prairie. So I think the fact that there's just 2 games per week this fall too probably changes a little bit how you sub and things, and maybe not as quick to take guys out because of that a little bit too. You want to make sure they're getting enough time to really gel and everything too. Jack Olsen goes down hard on a clean tackle there by Anderson. And now he's going to stay down here. Olsen was up for a moment and then had to get back into a sitting position there, as it looks like maybe right ankle possibly that he's favoring.
He tried to walk it off, yeah, and then had to sit back down. Knee or an ankle.
And that's the thing where you wonder about too, what you were saying. It's kind of a twofold thing. Is, you don't maybe necessarily want to run up the score, but you also don't want to get you guys hurt. There was a stretch where things were getting really pretty rough out there, and we just kind of saw the tail end of it. That play was ruled to be clean though. The referee was right there.
Yeah, certainly for Tonka, I mean, I don't see any benefit to keeping their starters in at this point, really. With a 5-goal lead and, 16 minutes left. I certainly don't think, they're not trying to run up the score or attempting to do that at all. But like you said, yeah, there's getting guys comfortable, getting guys used to playing a whole match, because they're going to need to do that when they go up against the Wayzatas and the Edinas and the Eden Prairies, right? The starters aren't going to be able to come out in those games. Those games are going to be probably closer than these games, so you need to make sure guys have the stamina and fitness to be able to go 80 minutes, close to 80 minutes a game or more.
Pears sending that one, and it's going to be Swan able to scoop it up. Hoffman playing it over to Eklund. Nice ball to the outside there to Chumklang. And Chemnitz read that one well. It was a pretty good pass, but well defended also. Now Rodriguez. Olsen will turn and survey the field a little bit. Now sending it up, but nobody really home for the Skippers, and Swan will come out to grab it up.
But you're right, Jay. You see the skill of Rodriguez right there. You know, able to control the ball in the middle and just really those first couple steps really fast. Gets the ball up to Olsen, and they're gone the other way. The transition of the Skippers is pretty impressive.
Here's Chemnitz getting set for the free kick here for Minnetonka. High bouncer and shot on, but Udupo would rather have that one to do again. He didn't get all that much of it. Race up the side here as Panoff trying to create some offense for Hopkins. It will be a throw for the Royals. Header flick to the middle there and then booted out by Harrison Odom. But coming back to get it, and the shot attempt. Let's see if this was off a D. Yes, it was. A corner kick upcoming as Ryder stepped in to try and send it netward there from long range, and it hit a Minnetonka foot on the way out. It'll be Peter Eklund heading out to take the corner kick here for Hopkins.
Ryder's had a pretty good game for Hopkins. Pretty solid on the back end and creating some offense here now and again.
And again, they would, you know, they're obviously well out of this game, but you still would like to break that deadlock and get one. But he didn't really put that one in a great spot, out too high.
Yeah, I think he mishit that.
Chemnitz couldn't keep that one alive, and it will be a throw for Hopkins. Again, watch for the girls' game on CCX as well as the Skippers and Royals do battle. There you see what we've got coming up. Obviously that one next, and Minnetonka Wayzata swimming coming Friday. John Jacobson will be on hand for that one. Got some soccer action next week in Providence Academy, and obviously, Jason, this week we found out that the fall season wouldn't be ending with soccer and swimming and whatnot, as football and volleyball being added to the mix. So it's almost like we're having like 2 fall seasons this year, really.
Yeah, it feels really strange having volleyball and football start in early October, right? But we're really happy for those kids, I think. You know I am, for the chance to get to play, and with all the safeguards in place that we're going to need during the pandemic, but certainly happy for them.
And I think probably there's some, they can use some guideposts from seeing what the teams that have already been playing have been doing. Obviously, each sport's a little bit different, but I think you can kind of learn some things maybe from that too, and hopefully that helps to keep people safe. I found through this pandemic that you ask 100 people and you probably get about 100 different answers as to what should be happening or what's safe and what isn't and all that. But
well, there's so many unknowns, so it's hard to, I think, know what the right answer is, you know.
Opportunity here, and upfield come the Royals. Nice ball to the outside as Elijah Anderson trying to track it down. Just can't quite do it. He got a foot on it, but couldn't keep the ball from rolling out.
And you saw a few moments ago when Hopkins made a run into their offensive end. Not that Hopkins doesn't have forwards that are fast or have skill with their feet, but if you watch the angles that the Minnetonka defenders take, they're always in perfect position, and they're always taking those angles that make it hard for the Hopkins attackers to do much with it. And so that's that's what a good defense does, and that's made it harder for Hopkins to sustain any offense this game.
Jumclang up with that one, playing it nicely there to Ishmael Castro Montoya. Now they look long with it, and that one will be out. Under 10 to play here now. 5-0 Minnetonka. The first time they played it was 10-0, so the Royals want to take any solace that they've kind of closed the gap a little bit here, although they were down 4-0 at halftime. And again, if you're just joining us too, Hopkins playing without 5 regulars here tonight, so kind of short-handed, even beyond the fact that just Minnetonka is such a good opponent.
Not the opponent you want to face with 5 guys out, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the bad news for them is it doesn't get any easier coming up ahead. Their last 2 games after this one, just Wayzata and Edina. So they didn't exactly save the easy part for last. Here's an opportunity. Oh, and a shot just wide. Swan did not get a piece of it apparently, so it will be a goal kick as Emil Leiden had a couple pretty good chances in the first half and almost had himself one there. Swan made every effort to get to it. He couldn't quite reach it, but probably fortunately so, it ended up just being wide. Coming back to meet it there was Montoya, and then a cartwheel over the top. Clean play there as Herbert got the ball for Tonka, and then looks like both guys are all right though.
Really nice tackle by Herbert there.
Up the sideline and out. We get a throw coming for Minnetonka. Just got word earlier this week too about section play. There will be section tournaments, and all indications are that that's where it'll end. But still, I think a fun opportunity for see who comes out on top, and there'd be some competitive section play. So I look at it as better than nothing, which is what would be the alternative. Ooh. Tonka wanting a foul call there, but they ruled shoulder to shoulder and clean. Chemnitz trying to turn and go. Eklund took it, but it's going to be a foul against Eklund. So a free kick here for Minnetonka.
Yeah, I think in our COVID world, better than nothing is a pretty good mantra, right?
Yeah, there was very much a question whether there would be soccer to be played either. And fairly or unfairly, I think the football and volleyball people are, their kind of thought was, well, if soccer can play, then why can't we? And then ultimately that kind of was maybe listened to a little bit to some extent. I mean, obviously there are other factors coming in. The fact that most of the states around us ended up playing football, I think, was maybe a little bit of it too. And
yeah, and I think, when I heard that the Big Ten was going to go, that day, I really thought there was a good chance that the State High School League would reverse or at least revisit its decision. And that's kind of what happened. But
you were going to have to kind of go with whatever hand you were dealt, but the logistics of starting in March, I think, for both volleyball and football were kind of problematic. Volleyball, not obviously weather-wise because you're in a gym, but more so the fact that that's the big JO season. And for football, I think people were really wondering weather-wise what things were going to look like. Now on the flip side, football, we could be looking at some pretty cold nights for the last handful of games in the football season this year for sure. But I don't think most teams they're willing to make that trade-off anyway.
Well, and then how much does that throw off the 2021 season then too?
Right.
That's another unknown of how that would have gone for football, not that you need. I mean, they would still have a few months off, presumably until the next season started, until the 2021 season, fall 2021 season started. But
handball call there, and we will get a free kick for Hopkins as we're down to 4:35 to play in this one. Skippers were up 4-zip at half. They added one early in the second, and then no scoring since that point, and we stay at 5-0. Chemnitz knocked that one high into the air. Shot attempt was blocked. Hoffman, nice job to steal that pass, but then Chemnitz will just hammer it down the field. And Swan's going to retreat back into the box so he can play that one with the hands.
Royals with just about 4 minutes to get a goal here, break the shutout.
I'm kind of glad to see that things have settled down in terms of, there was about a 5-minute stretch where guys were getting pretty mad at each other. Things were getting a little chippy, or maybe more than a little chippy, and I'm kind of glad to see that seems to have settled down here down the stretch. But guys are still playing hard, don't get me wrong, but not with the seeming anger that there was for a few minutes there. Herbert lifting it high.
Yeah, you're never sure how that's going to go, right? There's a hard foul, and then there's a card, and then there's another foul, and sometimes that can just kind of that can snowball. But credit to the players. I mean, they kind of policed themselves on that. They didn't let each other keep it going. They kind of just settled in and started playing hard again, hard, clean soccer again. So
throw coming here again for Minnetonka. Chip back to the outside now. Oh, swing and a miss there on a bouncing ball. Tough to control that one. And a nice takeaway there in traffic. Royals will come up with possession. Hoffman played it back there for Reddish, but knocked loose from him. And now foul called against Minnetonka's Parker Flynn. So free kick for the Royals. Collision there. That one will go against Hopkins.
Chunkling putting up his hands there, but I think he knew that was a foul.
Flynn sending one across, and Swan did a pretty good job to read that one and come out and meet it. Chemnitz driving it deep into Hopkins territory again. Sent long here, and Swan out to grab it as Pears came in for a look just in case he had any kind of bobble there. Sun's pretty much, gone down, so that's not an issue anymore for either team's keeper to be looking up into the sun. The field's entirely in shadow now. Knocked up field there nicely by Gonnickman, and now they send it long toward Pears and keeper out. And the follow-up try is going to bounce way wide, as obviously Swan was out beyond the box, so could not play that one with his hands and didn't really hit it all that well with his foot. Just for a brief moment, he was probably thinking, oh no, they're going to get possession here and just loft one over me.
It's one of those ones we were talking about earlier where I think Swan had to come out and be aggressive on that, but he didn't get a good hit on the ball. So a potential chance for Tonka, but it didn't work out, luckily for the Royals.
There's Gonzalez winning that ball, putting it out front on a cross, but there's Swan getting to it as the horn sounds here to end this one. So Minnetonka getting its second victory of the season here over the Royals. And Jason, we were able to see why Minnetonka is ranked third in the state and why they have such a good record here, coming out and taking care of business. And obviously, again, Hopkins shorthanded in this one as well. But Minnetonka is just a really good team, too.
They are, and it makes me excited. I hope we have somebody at the Minnetonka-Wayzata game coming up here, because that should be a real good game. We all know how good Wayzata is. And going against Minnetonka, of course, Minnetonka's only lost this season to Wayzata, so they'll be looking for a little bit of revenge and a little bit of, to show what they can do as sections approach. So best of luck to both of these teams down the last regular season games and then into their respective sections as well. And we thank you for joining us, and a reminder to watch the girls game between Hopkins and Minnetonka as well. Final score in the boys game is Minnetonka 5 and Hopkins 0 for Jason Malillo and all of our crew. MJ Wilcox. Good night from Hopkins.